A dangerous storm is about to slam the southern United States this Valentine's Day weekend. From damaging winds and tornadoes tearing across Texas to feet of snow burying the western mountains, this is a coast-to-coast weather event that could leave hundreds of thousands of people without power and put millions in the path of severe weather. Out west, the Sierra Nevada and the Rockies are bracing for a massive snow onslaught. Across the southern plains, a potent low-pressure system is fueling destructive thunderstorms from Texas all the way to the Carolinas. And up in New York City, bone-chilling wind chills are plunging into the 20s, contributing to a deadly cold snap that has already claimed 19 lives on the city's streets. This is not your average February weekend, folks. So in today's forecast, I am going to break down exactly what you need to know about this Valentine's Day storm complex and the wild pattern shift that is coming for the rest of February. Now here is where it gets personal for a moment. When you step back and look at the full picture, the National Weather Service has warnings posted from Southern California to New York City all at the same time. Feet of snow out west, violent thunderstorms down south, and a deadly deep freeze up north. You have to ask yourself, when was the last time we saw this kind of coast-to-coast chaos in the middle of February? Is Mother Nature trying to remind us who is really in charge here? It makes you wonder what the rest of this spring has in store. But let us get into the details. Let us start with temperatures, because if you are a fan of spring, oh boy, you are going to love this. We are talking about lows tonight in the 50s as far north as Kansas. Down into Oklahoma, overnight lows are sitting in the low 60s. And in southern Texas, we are looking at lows near 70 degrees. That is warmer than what parts of Florida see in the middle of April. These are not normal February numbers, folks. We are running well above average across the entire midsection of the country. And it only gets more intense from here. By Sunday afternoon, the 70-degree line pushes all the way up into Nebraska. South Dakota and Iowa will be flirting with the mid-60s. And by Tuesday, I do think we could be seeing mid-80s in North Texas and near 80 degrees in Oklahoma City. That would be absolutely record-breaking warmth for this time of year. If you are anywhere from Dallas-Fort Worth up to Kansas City, enjoy it, but know that this warmth is the fuel for some very nasty storms. Now let us talk about the storm system that is driving all of this. We already have a closed low spinning over the Four Corners region, and it is picking up steam. As we go into Saturday, this system will track into West Texas and the Texas Panhandle. And here is what has the governor of Texas concerned. Governor Abbott has directed the Texas Division of Emergency Management to activate all necessary response resources ahead of these storms. That tells you this is not something to take lightly. This evening, there is already a marginal risk of severe weather stretching from Wichita down through Oklahoma City and into West Texas. Storms firing up near Midland and El Paso could produce winds of 60 miles per hour or greater, quarter-size hail, and an isolated tornado. If you are driving along Interstate 20 tonight in West Texas, please be very careful. But Saturday is when things really ramp up. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk of severe weather, and the bullseye is right over eastern Texas. We are talking about Houston, Beaumont, Tyler, stretching over into Baton Rouge and Lafayette in Louisiana, and even brushing New Orleans. I do think we could see a squall line develop east of Interstate 35 with wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour. We could see half-dollar size hail. And on the leading edge of that line, where kinks develop, tornadoes are on the table. And here is the question that should keep you watching. What happens when that squall line rolls through the Houston metro area on a Saturday afternoon when millions of people are out for Valentine's Day dinner? Think about that for a moment. If you have evening plans in eastern Texas or Louisiana, have a way to get severe weather alerts on your phone. Keep it charged. Know where your nearest shelter is. By midnight Saturday into early Sunday morning, these storms will be pushing through southeastern Arkansas and across Louisiana. And then as we go into Sunday afternoon, the severe weather threat shifts into Georgia, South Carolina, and northwest Florida. I do think northwest Florida has a heightened risk here because the Gulf of Mexico is right there feeding moisture and instability into the system. Dew points will be in the 60s, and that is rocket fuel for severe thunderstorms. Now here is something that could quietly be even more dangerous than the tornadoes. Flooding. This system is carrying 200 to 300% of normal moisture levels. That is like wringing out a giant sponge over the same areas for 48 hours straight. Tonight, there is a marginal risk of flooding from Joplin through Tulsa and Oklahoma City down to Wichita Falls. But Saturday is when the flooding risk really spikes, centered right over central Arkansas. Little Rock and Jonesboro, you need to be paying close attention. We are talking about the kind of heavy, soaking rainfall that overwhelms drainage systems and turns creeks into rivers. By Sunday, the flood risk shifts east into the Carolinas, southern Virginia, central Georgia, southeast Alabama, and parts of northern Florida. We could see an inch of rain over a wide area, but the heaviest totals will pile up over Arkansas through the weekend. If you are anywhere in this flood zone, do not drive through standing water. Turn around, don't drown. That is not just a slogan, folks. It saves lives. Now let us flip over to the other side of the country because the madness does not stop. A major pattern shift is about to hammer the West with storm after storm. Salt Lake City has not recorded a single inch of snow in one day for 380 straight days. That is the first time that has happened since the 1980s. Grand Junction in Colorado has gone over 400 days. The drought out west has been real, and the mountains desperately need this snow. Well, the wait is about to be over. A powerful low-pressure system is set to swing into the west coast by Monday, February 16th, and it is bringing an atmospheric river of moisture, basically a giant river of water vapor flowing straight out of the Pacific and aimed right at Southern California and the Sierra Nevada. We are talking about multiple feet of snow in the higher elevations. The Sierra Mountains and the Cascades could see 8 to 10 feet of snow over the next 10 days. The Rockies will pick up several feet as well, especially across Idaho, western Wyoming, Montana, Utah, and western Colorado. Now, great news for skiers and snowboarders. If you have been waiting for powder, your patience is about to pay off in a big way. Mount Shasta Ski Park in Northern California actually had to close due to lack of snow, but roughly 3 feet is expected to fall there between Sunday and Wednesday, which could trigger a reopening over the President's Day holiday. And for water supply, this is desperately needed. Lake Shasta is sitting at 78% capacity after a bone-dry January. Every inch of this snowpack is going to matter when summer comes. But bad news for travelers. Interstate 80 through Truckee could become treacherous with 6 to 8 feet of snow in the Sierras. Interstate 5 north of Shasta Lake will see icy conditions and accumulating snow. And across Southern California, dangerous winds have already forced over 400,000 people to stay indoors this week. The National Weather Service issued high wind warnings for communities like Victorville, Big Bear Lake, and Hesperia, with gusts reaching 60 to 70 miles per hour on the desert slopes. Over 13,500 people lost power in California from these winds alone. If you are out west and planning to travel, check road conditions before you go and make sure you have emergency supplies in your vehicle. And then there is the wind. As these powerful storms move across the Rockies, we are going to see wind gusts over 50, even 60 to 70 miles per hour, especially at higher elevations across Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico. If you are a trucker or driving a high-profile vehicle, this is going to be a tough stretch. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the spectrum, New York City is dealing with a dangerous cold snap. The wind chill will make it feel like 20 degrees Friday night and 25 degrees on Saturday. A light dusting of snow, maybe up to an inch, is possible early Saturday morning, but the bigger story is the human toll. Tragically, at least 19 people have lost their lives on the city streets during this cold spell, 15 from hypothermia. The city has deployed outreach teams across all 5 boroughs to connect vulnerable New Yorkers with shelters. If you know someone in the city who is sleeping rough, please help them get to safety. No one should die from the cold. And for your Valentine's Day forecast in the Big Apple, expect a high of 44 degrees on Saturday. It is not exactly romantic weather, but it will be dry. South Florida, on the other hand, you lucked out. Miami and Broward will see mostly sunny skies with highs near 80 degrees, perfect for those outdoor dinner plans. Now, one more thing before we wrap up. The Daytona 500 is Sunday, and there is about a 14% chance of rain in Daytona Beach with a high of 79 degrees. Mother Nature has a habit of crashing that race. Last year saw over 3 hours of rain delays, so keep your fingers crossed for clear skies. Now, the bigger picture. Looking out over the next 10 to 14 days, Arctic air is going to stay bottled up over western Canada and Alaska. That means the warmth across the eastern United States is going to continue and even intensify. But this clash of air masses between the Arctic cold to the north and the spring-like warmth to the south means one thing: more dynamic storm systems are coming. I do think we are looking at additional rounds of severe weather and heavy rain from East Texas all the way to the Carolinas through the end of February. And the West is going to keep getting pounded with snow. This active pattern is not going anywhere, folks. So here is my advice. If you are in the severe weather zone this weekend, make sure you have got flashlights and batteries ready. Keep your phone charged. If you are on medication that needs refrigeration, have a cooler and ice packs ready just in case you lose power. And if you are traveling anywhere from Texas to Florida this weekend, stay weather aware and have a backup plan. As always, thank you all so much for watching today's forecast. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss an update. We cover everything weather across the United States and Canada, and my spring forecast will be coming out in about a week and a half, so you are definitely going to want to be here for that. Stay safe out there this Valentine's Day weekend, and we will see you in the next forecast.